Birchington Parish Council Community Ad Magazine, May 2026. This is issue 89. It's from Parish Chairman Nick Blankley. He says, "Last month I concluded my piece by asking, what will you do to get beach fit this year? To some that may have conjured up images of Pamela Anderson and David Hasselhoff of Baywatch fame, or perhaps Jaws came to mind as an excuse to swerve the issue completely. Whatever your take on the question, the underlying point is that this is the time of year when we become more active. All the evidence points to actively improving our quality and, for some, quantity of life and our senses of well-being. We have a tremendous range of active leisure opportunities on our doorstep, be it the coast, the countryside, and open spaces or venues around the village. The recently refreshed Active Leisure Directory includes over 150 entries, indoors and out, some more demanding than others. The Active Leisure Showcase event on the 11th of July at Dog Acre and the centre will provide opportunities to find out more about local groups. For our youngsters, is 6 to 11. The Youth Sports Week, 10th to the 14th of August, will provide a range of sports sessions free of charge. If the organised groups are not for you, the Heart in the Community CIC at 34 Station Road offers social participation sessions. Chatty Cafe at Wagtails at 133 Minnis Road has the Chat and Natter table every Monday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And the Birchington Health and Wellbeing Group offers a warm welcome, support and advice. Whatever is right for you is not far away. Come on, invest a little bit of effort and you will be surprised. Those of you who came to the Parish Assembly in April will be up to date with the most parish council matters. The latest. Pride in Place. EDC has allowed 1.4 million of the 1.5 million government funding to Margate and Broadstairs. Parishes can bid for up to £20,000 each. We have pressed for a decent slice, but will still try to get a few of the crumbs. Rossetti Gardens is now designated as an asset of community value, and we are in discussions with TDC to secure the garden's long-term security. North Thanet Link Road. The KCC Relief Road planned is to run from Brooksend Hill to Quex and onward to Margate. A planning application is expected May to June, with funding identified later this or next year. Search KCC A28 North Thanet Link. Back to activities. Watch out for our Dog Acre events. The recent Scarecrows, Farmers Market and Garden and Food Fair events were very well attended, creating a real buzz and sense of community. Well done and thank you to the organisers. Check later in the magazine for forthcoming attractions. And finally, Dog Acre, the dog whipper, was responsible for removing unruly dogs from church services during the 17th century. The Church of All Saints provided this roughly 1 acre plot of land to the dog whipper. He could farm it, graze animals, or lease it out to supplement his small cash salary. The next article is news from Acol Parish Council. It says our annual parish meeting, at which we report on progress and activity in the preceding council year, was held on the 16th of April. We've taken steps to ensure that our council complied with the Assertion 10, a new governance requirement for councils being implemented from 2025 to 2026 onwards. It mandates councils to confirm they have taken proper steps to ensure digital and data compliance. Among new requirements for Acol, we needed to provide our parish clerk with a government email address, that is clerk@acol-pc.gov.uk. We had already switched to a government website address, www.acol-pc.gov.uk. Sarah, our clerk, had achieved CILCA, that's Certificate in Local Government Administration qualification, enabling our council to adopt general powers of competence, enabling it to do anything that an individual may lawfully do. The village centre CCTV system has been upgraded to an ANPR, that's automatic number plate recognition capability, providing 24-hour monitoring. We had invested in improving the visual appeal with flower planters around the village sign and at the village hall, and further improvements are planned. A village-wide 20-mile-per-hour scheme has finally been agreed by KCC Highways, and we have commissioned and paid for its implementation, although this sadly is being delayed until midsummer by Highways contractual changes. We continue to work with Quex to maintain and improve pedestrian access to the estate. The playground at our recreation ground needed refurbishment, which are in progress to ensure a safe play space for children. We also decided to install a gate at its southern entrance to reduce the likelihood of young children running into the road. The bi-monthly Saturday bites and banter social events at the village hall continued to prove popular. Following some flooding in the village last year, we had addressed concerns about inadequate drain and culvert maintenance by Thanet District Council, and will continue to monitor the situation. Endeavours to improve our website usability and content have been continued with, for example, a calendar of village events and additional historic information, and we welcome any suggestions for its further improvement. Gary Grimbridge, the new community warden who joined Thanet Villages last year, is regularly to be seen around Acol and has been especially active in helping to prevent social exclusion, which we warmly welcome. Looking ahead, among other matters, we will be setting up the lorry watch scheme approved at our last meeting to deter heavy goods traffic through the village, and will detail plans for community use of the phone kiosk being acquired from BT following the removal of the payphone. The next parish council meeting will be on Thursday, 18th of June from PM in the Acol Village Hall, and that's from the Chair Richard Steele. Next is an update from your Birchington North District Councillors. We wanted to share an update on some recent local news and community activity, as well as ongoing work on behalf of the residents. Following the recent Birchington Parish Council elections, it is great to see both returning councillors re-elected and the new councillor Marty Bone-Idle joining the parish council. We wish them all the very best and look forward to working together for Birchington. It's also great to see our area featured as part of the England Coastal Path, which runs our coastline through Birchington, Minnis Bay and across Thanet. This is a fantastic asset for our area, helping showcase our coastline and encouraging more people to enjoy it. We're also pleased to see the return of the Thanet Open Top Bus for 2026. The service links Minnis Bay, Margate, Broadstairs and Ramsgate, providing a scenic and accessible way to travel along the coast during the Easter holidays and throughout the summer season. While this is a welcome addition, it also highlights the need for better year-round public transport links for our communities. It was also wonderful to see the success of Birchington's Spring Scarecrow competition. A big thank you to Gina and Louise for all their hard work in organising the event, and to everyone who took part. The effort and creativity of the display were fantastic, and congratulations to all the winners. Though our advice surgeries and wider conversations with the residents, a number of ongoing issues have been raised with us. These include the need for progress on the crabbing pool, concerns around the bin collections, and the removal of bins along part of the coastline. We understand how frustrating these issues are, particularly as we head into the busier months, and we are continuing to raise them and to push for action to ensure they are properly addressed. Finally, we're continuing to hold our Council Advice Surgery every second Saturday of the month at Wagtails Cafe and Bar. That's 133 Minnis Road, Birchington, CT79NS. That's between 10 AM and 12 noon. If you'd like to come and have a chat with your local councillors, please contact us on the email and numbers below. That's Councillor George Cupp, Birchington North, 07732 390 486, or Councillor Reese Pugh, that's 07740 288 713. Next is Birchington Garden and Food Fair, 25th of April 2026. The Birchington Garden and Food Fair was blessed with beautiful sunny weather, creating the perfect setting for a vibrant and well-attended community event. Visitors arrived in great numbers throughout the day, enjoying the relaxed atmosphere and everything the fair had to offer. A wide variety of plants were available for sale, appealing to both seasoned gardeners and those just starting out. From colourful blooms to hardy shrubs, there was something to suit every garden. Along the plant stalls, a diverse selection of food vendors offered an array of tempting options, ensuring no one went hungry as they explored. Families were also well catered for, with the bouncy castle providing entertainment for children and adding to the lively, welcoming feel of the day. The event struck a fine balance between leisure, learning and community engagement. One of the highlights was a series of talks delivered by guest speaker Philip Oystenbrink, Steve Edney, Paul Twyman and George Ward. Each brought their own experience and passion, delivering engaging and informative presentations that were very well attended and appreciated by visitors. Local organisations, including Birchington Bird Club, Monkton Nature Reserve and Save Our Fields Birchington, were also present, offering valuable insights into their work and connected with the community. Overall, the fair had a fantastic atmosphere with a strong sense of community and spirit throughout. Thanks go to everyone who visited, supported and contributed to making the event such a success. The next article is an update from Minnis Bay Lodge 8496. On Saturday the 14th of March, 31 brethren gathered at Minnis Bay Lodge number 8496 for an ordinary meeting, but with no ceremonial work. Then the afternoon changed into something extraordinary. The lodge was called off, and 7 local charity representatives were invited to receive charitable donations totalling £37,500. The Veterans Association, Forelands Fields, RNLI Margate, Parkinson's UK, Age UK, KSS Air Ambulance and Pilgrim's Hospice were all greeted warmly and presented with individual cheques. The lodge was quiet, the brethren humble, and the charities could hardly believe it. That's a lot of money, especially from just one lodge, and it's not over. Founder W. Graham Knox, master in 1978, asked to a higher service, leaving a bequest to the lodge of £250,000 with one stipulation: it all had to be donated to charity. An amazing legacy and an excellent problem to solve. How do you do it? The Minnis Bay Brethren formed a committee, drew up a list of 31 charities, divided the money into £1,500 chunks for distribution, and then each member was given 3 votes to nominate a charity on the list to receive a share. The scheme ensures that each charity receives a minimum of £1,500 and that more votes mean more money. As with all the simplest schemes, the outcome denies the hard work involved in working it all out. The money is one thing, that's the easy part. The reality for charities is different. 160 people in Kent are living with Parkinson's. The RNLI are building a completely new lifeboat station in Margate, keeping all crews operational whilst they rebuild. Pilgrim's Hospice needs £18 million per year to run its services. Cheque for £4,500 presented to the KSS Air Ambulance will fund a complete mission: aircraft, fuel, pilots, crew, medic, drugs, etc. That £4,500 may just have saved someone's life. That's humbling. Even into his 80s, W. Graham Knox would make the 40-mile trip from his home in Bredhurst for weekly LOIs, and of course, every meeting. An ex-Navy gunner officer, wounded in the Korean War, Graham then became a commercial traveller, selling cleaning products to garages. His Navy anecdotes are too fruity for the print, so to hear those, you'll need to go to Minnis Bay 8496. Chat to our very friendly, open and welcoming lodge of humble masons doing something extraordinary. That's from George Chandler. That is George Chandler. That's from John Marshall Redding, Assistant Secretary, Minnis Bay Lodge 8496. The next article, a 400-year-old promise to Birchington. In 1642, during the reign of Charles I, and as England stood on the brink of civil war, a local gentleman named Henry Robinson of Monkton sat down to write his will. He left his land and St Nicholas at Wade, not as a gift, but with a clear and generous purpose to fund education for people born in Thanet or Kent. St John's College, Cambridge was appointed trustee to manage the land and ensure the purpose was fulfilled. Henry Robinson signed his will on the 13th of May 1642. Almost 400 years later, the college has confirmed that it holds no records of educational support having been provided under this trust, and no record of the will ever having been formally varied or brought to an end. This raises an important question. What became of Henry Robinson's intention? Imagine for a moment if you, your children, your grandchildren, or indeed any of your ancestors over the last 380 years had benefited from the opportunity he envisaged. What difference might that have made, not just to individual families, but to Thanet as a whole? Why does this matter today, when land is left in trust for specific purposes? It is held for that purpose, not owned outright. The trust is a steward, responsible for ensuring that the original intention is respected. The same land in Birchington is now subject of a major development proposal. In December 2025, the District Council granted outline planning permission for a scheme of up to 1,600 homes and associated infrastructure. Questions have also risen about how that decision was reached, including what considerations were given to the land's history and status. A judicial review claim has been accepted by the High Court and proceedings are ongoing. The court is currently considering whether the case should proceed to a full hearing. The story has attracted coverage from BBC, Kent Online and the Isle of Thanet News. The Thanet Trust Association was formed to pursue transparency and accountability in relation to Henry Robertson's will and the planning permission. To learn more, you can watch our YouTube videos or join our Facebook group. If you'd like to support the work, contributions to our legal and our investigation fund are welcome. The link is www.gofundme.Thanet Trust Association Legal and Investigation Fund. For further information, please visit www.thanetTrustAssociation.org.uk. And that's from David Peerless, Thanet Trust Association. Now for news around Birchington. News from Birchington-on-Sea Primary School. Children at Birchington-on-Sea Primary School started their Easter celebrations in the most magical and uplifting way with their first ever Easter bonnet parade. The whole scheme came out to clap, cheer and wave as the school's youngest children showed off their creations. The Key Stage 2 children formed a large circle around the edge of the Rossetti playground whilst everyone sang and danced to their favourite Easter songs. It was a really spiritual experience and will definitely be a new Birchington tradition. That's from Louise Wilson, head teacher, Birchington Church of England Primary School. Birchington toppers. First of all, I would like to say a huge thank you to Tracy Coombs at Blend Coffee Lounge for hosting a quiz to raise funds for our knitting group. Thanks also go to Graham Archer, our quiz master, who had some challenging rounds to test our knowledge. A raffle and willing participants. Together, we raised the wonderful sum of £360. We have already put some of the money to good use and will again be decorating the trees at Dog Acre and bring the cheerful wraps for the summer. Gwen and Janet have also created a couple of new toppers for Station Road on a nursery rhyme theme, and we are sure you will be able to guess what they are when you see them. Pop into the library where you will find a seahorse, an angelfish and a dragonfly to complement Ashley's underwater artwork. That's from Karen Everest, Birchington Toppers. The Rotary Club of Isle of Thanet Sunrise. Members and friends have been busy this spring with a variety of events. The 15th and final Big Knit was held in March, and you helped us to raise an amazing £3,800 gift aid. A presentation to the charities will be arranged. Music Boogie Bingo in April was great fun and raised over £800. 48 Easter eggs were donated to the Holy Trinity Church and Resource Centre. We've had training on the use of defibrillators and speakers on the subject of scams and fraud. A £500 presentation was made to Stack.Life. That's Stefan's Act of Kindness, followed by a very educational talk on neurodivergence and how they help young people and affected families. We meet on alternate Fridays at Westgate and Birchington Golf Club for breakfast and occasionally at Wagtails in Birchington for coffee. If you'd like to know more about Rotary, please get in touch. You are welcome to join us at one of our meetings and we will provide a complimentary breakfast. Take a look at our Facebook page, that's Rotary Thanet Sunrise 01, or visit our website rotary-ribi.org. That's from Margaret Jones. Ink cartridge recycling. Remember, you can drop off your used printer ink cartridges to be recycled in the David Burley Gallery in Birchington Library, Alpha Road, and at the Parish Council Office, 2 Albion Road, CT7 9DM. The CRISP charity, calling children and youth group leaders and school students currently in Year 13 in Birchington or Acol. This local charity may be able to help young groups with finances through small cash grants. These applications need to be received by the 15th of October. For an application form, please write or telephone Anne Story, 8 Nursery Fields, Birchington CT7 OJF. That's 01843 846651 or AnnStory56 at btopenworld.com. Interim Chair at East Kent Hospitals. Dr. Annette Dirty is stepping down as Chair of East Kent Hospitals University NHS Foundation Trust to allow the Trust to appoint a Chair who can focus exclusively on leading East Kent through the next phase of improvement work ahead. The Trust's Council of Governors has asked Dr. Olu Olasode, Senior Independent Director, Non-Executive Director, to take on the role of Interim Chair until a permanent chair is appointed. Dr. Olasode will take on the role of Interim Chair with immediate effect. Dr. Olasode has been a Non-Executive Director at the Trust since the 1st of April 2021. He is a fellow Chartered Accountant, Economist and Leadership Consultant. He has over 32 years executive leadership experience and 25 years as the non-executive director and chairman of audit and governance within both public and private sector organisations. He has over 30 years experience in the NHS, including as Commissioner and Chair of Audit and Governance with the CQ. Celebrating Veterans' Commitment to the Community, an annual awards event that celebrates community support delivered by the ex-military is now accepting nominations. The Veterans Recognition Awards and Information Fair will be held on Tuesday the 2nd of June. The event combines a network event for ex-military along with an awards session that celebrates veteran support of the community. More than a dozen information stands providing a range of support available to ex-military, reservists and their adult family members will be in the information zone at the event, along with a coffee station providing complimentary refreshments for ticket holders. The climax to the event will be the awards, with ex-military from every corner of the county honoured. To find out more, submit a nomination or book a ticket to that event, or scan the QR code, or visit www.eastkentmind.org.uk/veterans. Tickets to the event cost just a nominal £1 plus booking fee and enable guests to have complimentary refreshments at the event. East Kent Mind Veteran Project is supported by Veterans Foundation, Canterbury Christchurch University and Austin Allen Home Care. So, Birchington Medical Centre update. Please see a list of our regular clinical staff. That's GPs Dr Dunton, who's the GP lead, Dr Osmond, who's also a GP lead, Dr O'Malley, who's salaried, Dr Huggins, who's salaried, and Dr Ofe, who's salaried, and Dr Powell, who's salaried. Advanced care practitioners, Louise Harmers, Mike Earl, Leanne Earl, and Muinat Anababa. The pharmacy team, Andy Walsh, who's the clinical pharmacist, Teresa Caballero, clinical pharmacist, Saffron Clifford, pharmacy technician, Leah Fletcher, pharmacy technician. The nurses are Karen Wilshaw, diabetic lead, Ulrich Holmeskov, respiratory lead, Lucy Blackman, Sam West, Chris Sharp, Lynn Huang, Michelle Gossett. HCAs, Shirley Collins, Lee Woodward, Laura Ford. Fraternity team, Leanne Campbell, Hayley Smith. Using Anima to contact the practice. As you know, all appointment requests now go through Anima, a GP review of all requests on the day of submission. The information you provide enables the GP to identify patients with the highest clinical need. Depending on those needs, the results may be a telephone consultation, a face-to-face appointment, advice by text message, a prescription, or a reference to another service. Please check which type of appointment you have been offered. This should be clear in the text message or telephone call from the surgery informing you of the outcome of your request. If you offer face-to-face, this means you need to attend the practice. Exclusions. If you are registered housebound with the practice or have a baby under 6 months, you must still call reception to make your request. The process for booking the following types of appointments will remain unchanged. Nurses' appointments, for example, smear tests, dressings, pill checks, etc. Blood test appointments. Using the online form if you do not have internet access. For patients who are unable to fill in the form online, there are several options available. The form can be completed on your behalf by a carer, family member or friend. If you have a smartphone or a computer but are not sure how to access the form, we can offer support. If you do not have online access or cannot complete the form yourself, our reception team can complete a form with you over the telephone. Working is progressing to enable Anima to be accessed from the NHS app. It is hoped this will be completed during May 2026. If you want to give feedback to the process of any issues that you encounter, please submit an email to the following address: bmc.ppg@nhs.net. How do I cancel an appointment? To check or cancel appointments, the automated system is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week via option 2 on the telephone when the practice is open or the NHS app. Next, we have the Wargraves Guardians of All Saints Church. We have a new team of council gardeners who have started to cut the grass and trim around the graves with care, which has greatly encouraged the volunteers to begin their task of refreshing their respective war graves after such a long episode of wet weather. In December last year, one of the recently joined volunteers, Barry Smith, was mentioned due to his adoption of 12 graves. Barry settled in the Birchington area some 20 years ago, and as a church member due to his family history, he decided to join the Wargraves volunteers after seeing the remarkable results in the churchyard. He had already tended his grandfather's Septimus Smith Commonwealth War Grave in Beerstead Churchyard. A chief petty officer in the Royal Navy, he was seriously injured at the Battle of Jutland. He returned to military hospital in Maidstone, but sadly died from his injuries. In addition, Barry cares for 3 family graves at Hollingbourne, one of which is for a desert rat who fought at the Battle of El Alamein. A grave that Barry tends in All Saints Churchyard is that of Petty Officer Stoker William Walter Henry Smith, no relation, who was killed in action in World War II in 1940 at the age of 36. Other graves include Lance Sergeant Clarence Rowland, 7th Battalion Buffs, who was awarded the Military Cross but died in World War I in 1917, and is recorded at the Meningate, Ypres, and Lance Corporal George Charles Lednor Solly of the 6th Battalion the Buffs, who died in the same year. He is commemorated on the memorial in Arras. 2 or 3 years ago, the Minnis Bay Day Centre came on board to help restore and care for a number of war-associated graves. Their supervisor, Louise, has been with the project since the start and is pictured here with Tracy, a fellow helper, with her 2 protégés, Joe and Adrian. Joe likes to carefully wash the gravestones so that everyone can read the wording easily, and Adrian enjoys trimming the grass to tidy around the grave's edge with his shears. One grave they look after is that of the Rule family. Eric Granville Sutherland Rule was born in Churl, near Farnham, 1878. But when moving to Birchington, he attended the school in Station Road, where his father was a teacher. In 1914, he is recorded as a warrant officer, Class 2 in the Royal Navy, an important role that the highest grade of rating being a crucial link between officers and lower-level ratings. However, by the end of 1915, he was Company Sergeant Major in the 1st/4th Battalion, Royal Hampshire Regiment, the Hampshire Tigers. Sadly, on the 21st of January 1916, he was killed in action, aged 37, at Basra, Mesopotamia. That's now Iraq. Although initially recorded as missing, presumed dead, he is acknowledged and recorded at the Basra Memorial. A second family grave, volunteers care for, is also Royal Navy World War I veteran James Cheeseman, who was born in 1870, was disabled serving in World War I and died in December 1926, buried in his family grave in All Saints Churchyard. Thirdly, Joe and Adrian attended the family grave that commemorates Corporal Frederick Banbury, Queen's Own Royal West Kent Regiment, born in Westgate-on-Sea and later moving to Birchington. He died in action in March 1944, aged 28. Although he had served in North Africa, he died fighting German forces in the Wadis near Anzio, a brutal entrenched battlefield. To contact the Guardians is Faulkner 2020. Next we have the KCC update. As the days stretch out and the temperatures finally start behaving like spring, there's a real sense of optimism in the air. The village feels brighter, people seem cheerier, and even the seagulls look slightly less grumpy. With that in mind, here's a quick update on what's been happening with me and KCC. Potholes Patrol. When I'm out and about driving around the area, I regularly report potholes to KC. I don't post every single one on social media, partly because it would take half of my life, and partly because, let's be honest, potholes aren't exactly thrilling content. However, every now and then one appears, and that is so spectacularly awful it deserves a mention. Recently, down Crisp Road, I came across a crater that looked like it belonged on the moon rather than in Birchington. It was at least 2 feet across and about a foot deep. If a car had gone into it, the suspension would have needed therapy afterwards. It was genuinely dangerous, so I reported it immediately, and it was dealt with quickly. The response from our local highways team was outstanding. If you spot anything similar, please do report it directly, or let me know and I'll do it for you. Now that the worst of the winter weather is behind us, this is the ideal time for KCC to get the roads back into shape before next winter tries its best to undo all the good work. Our brilliant community wardens. The next thing I want to highlight is the fantastic work of our community wardens. Many residents remember that they were at risk of being abolished under the previous administration, but we prioritised protecting them, and thank goodness they were. This week, a local paper boy noticed that newspapers were piling up in the porch of an elderly resident. He did exactly the right thing and raised the alarm. I tried to make contact, but I had no luck, so I called in our wardens. They carried out a welfare check and discovered that the lady was away, staying with family while awaiting an operation. Thankfully, it was a happy ending, but not every situation turns out that way. Our wardens are a vital safety net for vulnerable residents, and I'm incredibly grateful for the work they do. If you ever have concerns about someone in your street or community, please reach out to them or to me. It's always better to check than to hope for the best. If you ever need help, want to raise an issue, or simply want to share something happening in your part of the community, please feel free to get in touch as the sunshine returns and we all start spending a bit more time outdoors. I look forward to seeing many of you all around the village, hopefully avoiding any more potholes or epic proportions. Kind regards, Councillor Luke Evans. You can call him on 07927 642 849 or email luke.evans@kent.gov.uk. The next article is Probus Club of Birchington and District. Our March lunch saw ex-President Sonny formally hand over the chain of office to 2026 President David. The new president briefly outlined the plans for the year, which includes coffee mornings, a pub lunch and at least one outing, and promised to continue the tradition of telling absolutely terrible jokes at the start of each lunch. No sooner had he received his chain of office when he was pressed into service. The club has a tradition that long-standing members who no longer feel able to commit to monthly lunches are made honorary life members so that they remain in touch with the club activities. President David's first official duty was to present a life membership certificate to James, who had been a valued club member for many years. As you can see, the ceremony is not very formal. New to the area, maybe you're just looking to meet new people. If you were retired, why not consider coming along to a Probus lunch? We are a monthly lunch club for men whose membership is open to anyone who is retired and currently costs just £20 to join, which includes a choice of tie and pin badge, as well as monthly lunches at the Smugglers Restaurant. The committee hold events throughout the year to which partners and guests are welcome. For more information, please contact Dave Olker at btinternet.com or call or text him 07962 929 700. And that is from Dave Olker. Next we have Carry On camping pitches up at Birchington. For the second successive year, Leaky Brain Productions is bringing the brilliant British comedy Carry On franchise back to the centre in Birchington for 2026. After the success of last year's Carry On Screaming, this year will see the 17th release in the series of 31 films coming to life in our village. Carry On Camping, voted the nation's favourite carry-on. This production will run from the 4th to the 6th of June, and we caught up with director Drayson Goldfinch and producer-director Joe Dryden to tell us more. So we asked, this is your second carry-on stage adaptation. How proud are you to be producing these iconic films at the centre? They answered, I'm immediately proud to be bringing this classic nostalgic style of comedy back to Birchington. So many people remember or have been brought up on these films. After Carry On Screaming was such a success, it seemed criminal not to delve deeper into the Carry On classics. Next question was, for readers who may not have watched Carry On Camping, can you give us a brief synopsis of the film? Carry On Camping follows Sid and Bernie, two young-ish fellas who will do anything to get their way with two young lady friends, Joan and Anthea, even if it means taking them camping to what they think is a nudist campsite. Needless to say, things don't exactly go how they planned it. Next question was, Carry On Camping is arguably the most popular film from the franchise. How has it been through rehearsals, especially for classic spots like the bra flying tent mishap and the getting to the milk morning routine scenes? Some of the Carry On films would certainly be controversial in today's society, but Carry On Camping has the perfect amount of relatable innuendo, slapstick and cheeky humour. The bra scene in particular is challenging. We have to give the audience exactly what they want to and expect, but also look after the modesty of our cast. And yes, before you ask, that scene will happen exactly like it does in the film. Next question was, what have you personally enjoyed most about directing and working on this? I'm loving the process. The cast are amazing. It seems everyone involved is having a great time along the way. We are belly laughing in every single rehearsal. I know that's going to translate onto the stage too. Next question. Carry On Camping is such a fantastic quintessential British comedy. Can you talk us through the casting process and how difficult it was to ensure the actors chosen were perfect for the roles that they have been cast in? Answer was, casting was surprisingly easy. This group of thespians that we have gathered together are all so naturally funny and easy to work with. They are all embodying their characters wholeheartedly. It has been a joy from the first minute working with the wonderful group of actors. What can readers who have bought a ticket expect to be treated to from the production? The answer is readers can expect to be laughing the whole evening. If you like the films, then you'll love what we have produced. Stripped straight from the silver screen and pitched up at the Birchington Village Centre, we cannot wait to welcome you all to Paradise Camp in the first week of June. It'll cost you £1. Team behind Carry On Camping is Joe Dryden, director and producer, Sean Dryden, producer, Paul Dryden, sound engineer and producer, and Drayson Goldfinch, director. To buy tickets for Carry On Camping, go online and visit www.ticketsource.com. You can scan the QR code that's in the magazine, or phone the box office on 0333 666 3366. There will also be availability to buy tickets on the door. Now let's move to what's on in Birchington. The Kent Tribute Festival Weekender, 22nd to the 24th of May, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Quecks Park, Park Lane, Birchington, CT7 OBH. A new weekend on music festival. The Kent Tribute Festival is coming to Birchington this May. The Kent Tribute Festival Weekender promises 3 days of world-class live music, entertainment and unforgettable festival vibes. Following the success of the previous years, the 2026 edition, already dubbed Glaston Thanet, is to be the biggest yet, featuring 21 of Europe's leading tribute acts, 2 electrifying stages and an incredible weekend-long celebration of legendary music. Tickets are from £19.95. To purchase and for a full lineup announcements, go online and visit www.kenttributefestival.com. Elvis Tribute Night, Saturday the 23rd of May, 7 p.m. for 7:30 at Kearns Hall, Minnis Bay Avenue, Birchington, CT7 9NN. Come and enjoy an Elvis Tribute Night with the excellent Scott Elvis. Bring your own refreshments. Tickets are selling fast, £10. For more information, phone 07889 655 497. Carry On Camping, 4th to the 6th of June, 7:30. Doors open at 7 p.m. at the Centre, Alpha Road, Birchington, CT7 9EG. Carry On Camping is a classic British comedy film released in 1969. Follows the misadventures of a group of campers, including Sid and Bernie, as they head to a rural campsite for a bank holiday weekend. Chaos ensues, with mishaps involving the fellow campers, the strict campsite owner, and some unexpected skinny dipping. It's full of classic carry-on humour, innuendo, slapstick, and plenty of awkward situations. Tickets are £16.26. That's £15 plus £1.26 BF. To purchase, go online and visit www.ticketsource.com/leaky brain. Queer Nature After Hours, Friday the 12th of June, 2 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Quecks House and Gardens, the Paracop Museum, Quecks Park, Birchington. Join the Paracop Museum for a special evening edition of the fascinating guided tour celebrating the diversity of the natural world. Learn about animal homosexuality, trans and intersex animals, and the many ways in which nature transcends the categories imposed by humans at this special event, special evening edition of this fascinating guided tour created and led by Fenja Schultz. Tickets include exclusive museum access and refreshments upon arrival. Tickets are £20 per person. To purchase, go online to www.powell-cottonmuseum.org/what's on. Mid to late June events at the Centre for Road, Birchington. Thursday the 18th is a psychic fair evening. It's open at 6 till 9. Saturday the 20th is craft fair. Doors open 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thursday the 25th, Birchington Heritage Night. Doors open at 7 p.m. Saturday the 27th, Big Sing Choir Concert. Doors open at 2 p.m. Summer Fair, Saturday 27th of June, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Birchington Church of England Primary School, Park Lane, Birchington, CT7 OAS. Free entry, lots of fun, including raffles, games, barbecue food, candy floss, bouncy castle, face painting, glitter tattoos, ice cream and more. For more information, email pta@birchington.kent.sch.uk. Mahjong Mondays. Every Monday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Wagdale's Cafe and Bar, 133 Minnis Road, Birchington, CT7 9NS. Enjoy and learn about the wonderful game of Mahjong. If you're interested in playing, new members are welcome. Message Wagdale's Cafe and Bar through the Facebook page for more information. Kettlebells exercise class, every Monday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Kearns Hall, Grenham Bay, whole body low impact cardio routine exercise for everyone 18 plus. All classes are taught by qualified fitness instructors. £6. Please bring exact cash. Booking is essential to secure your space and the equipment. For more information and to book, message Peter on 07831 789 216. 115 Station Road, Birchington, CT7 9RE. It's a flavour-filled food fest you won't want to miss. Antisocial behaviour on the roads of Birchington. Numerous reports of antisocial driving in Birchington have been raised. Please note, Kent Police Birchington Police Officer Stephen England is aware of the nuisance vehicle problem. These incidents may be reported to Kent Police, but they need your help via their 101 non-emergency telephone line or online vehicle nuisance involving cars, bikes and mopeds site. Via a search engine, enter the Kent Police reporting nuisance driving. This site provides information regarding common types of vehicle nuisance. Click on the report vehicle nuisance, including bikes, mopeds or other vehicles. It will be asking questions including the location of the incident, what happened and why you think it was antisocial or causing a nuisance, the registration number of the vehicle or vehicles involved, details or descriptions of the people involved. Kent Police will assess your report, record the incident and decide on the best course of action. They will usually only get in touch with you if more details are needed. In some cases, they will notify your local policing team who will deal with antisocial behaviour. They may want to get in touch with you to discuss it further. Let's keep Birchington safe and maintain the environment we wish to enjoy. The next article is Birchington Residents Association. April Coffee Morning began with a commemoration of Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, on which the quiz was based. Introduced it with a short rendering of the prologue to the tales in Middle English before explaining that the quiz did not depend on anyone knowing the work, as the answers were all related to people sharing the same surname as one of the pilgrims. It seemed very relevant after the installation of the new Archbishop of Canterbury, who herself has followed the pilgrim route before arriving in the city. During Easter week, attendance was strong, with several parish councillors present. Jim Moore and Max Houghton gave updates on housing developments and the parish assembly. Shirley introduced Sean Everett, an estate planning consultant from the Co-op Legal Services, who discussed essential steps for managing one's estate. He outlined 3 possible beneficiaries: the taxman, relatives and care costs for a partner. Tax-free allowances should be reviewed, but tax typically isn't an issue between spouses. Rising care expenses can significantly reduce assets, and bequests may become complicated if a spouse remarries, potentially affecting children from previous marriages. For example, if money is left to a spouse who then remarries, any children from the first marriage might then lose out, unless plans are made beforehand to ensure any children and grandchildren are not disinherited. There are solutions, but some of these, such as putting the house in the children's name, can be risky, and it is essential professional advice is sought. Similarly, trust funds need expert advice. His main recommendations were that we should plan early while we still have mental capacity, by making a will, specifying our wishes clearly, and by establishing lasting powers of attorney for both our health and finances. Again, this can be a minefield, and although both wills and powers of attorney can be done by the individual either by using kits available from stationers online, for peace of mind it might again be sensible to enlist a professional's help. Above all, it is important to make sure we make our plans early. Next month, we shall begin taking deposits for our July the 15th mystery trip. The cost will be £27 to include coach costs, tips and afternoon cream tea. Subscriptions are now due and are now £3 for a single person and £5 for a family at one address. This covers the cost of hiring the hall, speakers, events and outings, which we usually subsidise for members. If you would like to join, you can pay the registrar by cheque or cash at any coffee morning in an envelope left at Blend or by post to David Olker, Registrar, 19 Shakespeare Road, CT7 9ET. For further details on any of the above, please contact Pat on 847 843. The next article, the proposed reordering of All Saints Church. Questionnaire responses and what reordering is. Church buildings are among the most loved and recognisable places in our communities. They hold memories, mark life milestones, and stand as a sign of God's presence in our midst. But a church sometimes needs to adapt so it can continue to serve its people well, and the parish has had to be reshaped to make it sustainable for the future. St Mildred's Church, Acol, is no longer one of the parish's churches, but we were able to sell it to a new owner in July 2025, refurbished it, and we still hold worship services there in Acol once a month. Our strategy, which was consulted upon 3 years ago, also includes the closure of St Thomas's Church and the repairs to the roof and steeple at All Saints Church and the reordering of its internal features. Many thanks to those residents who responded to our recent questionnaire on All Saints Church and how important it is to the local community, which will be used in our planning. In addition, the features that you would like to see enhanced at All Saints Church are included in this article and will help to shape our thinking on the reordering project. 50 initial responses were received. Of the initial 50, 37 were over 70, 13 were aged between 50 and 69. 34 listed themselves as members of the congregation, 18 attended activities in the whole church, 6 live locally but have not attended the church. 6 listed themselves as previous members and users. 5 have family connections and 2 are previous members. 1 churchyard volunteer, 1 who walks through the churchyard, 1 previous member of Friends of All Saints. The 3 words that respondents associated with All Saints Church were community, history and peaceful. The most popular events activities were exhibitions about the history of the church, history tours, talks and walks, music concerts and heritage open days, art exhibitions, pop-up cafe and community open days. We wish to reorder the church to sustain its future. Reordering simply means making changes to the inside of a church building so that it can better support worship, welcome and community life today. Below is a short guide to what reordering involves and why churches consider it. So why do churches consider reordering? Churches are living places, not museums. Over time, the need of a congregation and community change. A reordering project might help the church to improve accessibility for people of all ages and abilities, create flexible space for worship, children's groups, concerts or community events, enhance hospitality, perhaps by adding a small kitchen, cafe or welcome area, make the building warmer and more energy efficient, preserve and protect historic features while ensuring the building remains usable, support mission and outreach, especially in our village. Reordering is never about change for its own sake. It's about helping the church building continue to be a place of prayer, welcome and service for generations to come. Questions and answers about church reordering. Question: what exactly is reordering? Reordering means making changes to the layout or facilities of a church building. This could include moving pews, improving lighting, adding toilets, installing a kitchen, or creating a more flexible worship space. Next question. Why can't we just leave things as they are? Many churches were designed for a very different style of worship and community life. Reordering helps the building to meet today's needs, whether that's accessible seating, space for children, or facilities for community groups. Question: will we lose the church's historical character? No. Reordering projects must respect the building's heritage. Any changes are carefully planned with architects, heritage advisors and a diocese to ensure that the church's beauty and history are preserved. Question: who decides what changes are made? The answer is the Parochial Church Council, PCC, leads the process, but the whole congregation is consulted. Plans are shaped by prayer, discussion and listening to the needs of the community. Example: questionnaires, public meetings. Nothing happens without proper permission to the Church of England's faculty system. Next question: will the church feel like a sacred space? The answer is yes. Reordering aims to enhance the sense of welcome and worship, not diminish it. Many churches find that thoughtful changes actually deepen the feeling of sacredness by making the space more open, light and prayerful. Question: how long does a reordering project take? The answer is it varies. Small changes may take only a few months. Large projects, especially those involving building work, can take a year or more from planning to completion. The PCC will keep the congregation updated at every stage. How is a project funded? Funding usually comes from a mixture of grants, funding donations, and sometimes legacies. The PCC works hard to ensure that any project is financially responsible and sustainable. Question: what difference will reordering make? The answer is a well-designed reordering can transform the life of a church. It can make worship more engaging, welcome more inclusive, and community use more vibrant. Above all, it helps the church building continue to serve God's mission in the years ahead. If you have any questions, please contact Reverend Mark Ham, care of the Parish Office, Church House, Kent Gardens, Birchington, CT7 9RS, or email priestbmba@gmail. The next article is Birchington Health and Wellbeing. More than just a village. History. And your health. What do a 300-year-old secret, scarecrows, and a brisk morning walk have in common? They are all part of the heartbeat of Birchington. The Health and Wellbeing Group has been busy ensuring our village isn't just a place to live, but a place to truly thrive. It's the latest of what's happening in your community. 300-year-old will that could change everything. Have you heard the buzz? Our recent featured Peace Unplugged podcast took a deep dive into the shocking discovery of Henry Robinson's 300-year-old will and trust that followed it. Whether you are for or against the 1,600 proposed new houses in Birchington, this document is a gripping piece of local history that could have a massive impact on our village's future. How to listen? Find Peace Unplugged on YouTube or simply ask Alexa, play Peace Unplugged. Bonus, you can also listen to an audio version of this very magazine. Walking through history. Our recent walk and talk at the Memorial Recreation Ground was a triumph. The clouds stayed grey, but the conversation was bright as we explored the fascinating legacy of the wreck. Don't miss out. We are now arranging monthly walks throughout the year. Each one features a guest talk about the hidden history of our local area. Fresh air, light exercise, and a history lesson. What's not to love? The magic of Dog Acre. If you visited the Scarecrow Festival or the Birchington Garden and Food Fair, you felt it, that unmistakable village buzz. Hundreds of you turned out to celebrate, proving that Dog Acre is the soul of the community. There are plenty more events lined up for later this year to keep that atmosphere glowing. We're here for you. Got a question? Need to find local support but don't know where to turn? Join us for our monthly drop-in sessions at the Veterans Centre, 2 Surrey Gardens, Birchington, CT7 9SA, from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. on the last Friday of every month. It's a casual, friendly space to discover the various support organisations available right here in Birchington. Stay connected. Health and Wellbeing, the contact number is 0800 3101033. We're also on Facebook, Birchington Health and Wellbeing Group. And the final article is Birchington Bowls Club, expanding opportunities for sport and community. It remains at the heart of Birchington Bowls Club and is the foundation of a welcoming and active community space. As a member of the club, now I have seen how inclusive and enjoyable lawn bowls is. It is a sport that combines skill, patience and precision, while also providing gentle physical activity suitable for all ages and abilities. Importantly, it also supports well-being by encouraging time outdoors, focus and regular social interaction in a relaxed environment. The club continues to welcome new bowlers, and anyone interested in trying the sport is encouraged to come along. Whether completely new or returning after a time away, support is available to help people get started. Bowls is easy to learn, with equipment provided, and regular roll-ups and social sessions help new members feel part of the club from day one. More recently, the club has expanded its sporting offer to become a broader community sport hub. Alongside bowls, I'm also involved in running the pickleball side of the club. Pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports in the UK and worldwide. It is a simple to pick up, great fun, and suitable for all fitness levels, combining elements of tennis, badminton and table tennis. It has quickly gained popularity and has helped attract new members to the club. The club is also actively encouraging participation in walking football and netball, both of which are already running and continue to grow. Walking football provides a slower-paced version of the game, making it accessible while still offering teamwork, fitness and enjoyment. Netball continues to provide a structured team environment focused on activity, coordination and social connection. All of these activities play an important role in supporting both physical health and mental well-being. Regular participation in sport can help reduce stress, improve mood, build confidence and reduce isolation, whilst also strengthening community ties. To encourage more involvement, Birchington Bowls Club will be running free taster sessions during May and June, dates to be confirmed. These will give local residents the chance to try bowls and pickleball in a friendly and supportive setting with coaching available. And thank you, that's the end of this month's magazine. Bye for now.